this is Ligeia Ricciardi. I'm the Chief Transformation Officer at Carium, and I'm here at the Digital Health Live Studio at CES 2020. And I have the pleasure of speaking with Dr. Justin Sanchez, who's at Battelle. Welcome, Justin.
Great. Thanks so much for having me.
So, what are you here to talk about?
So we're here to talk about how to reconnect your brain to your body or to any other kind of digital technology that might be out there. We're working in an area called neurotechnology. And a lot of people haven't ever heard about neurotechnology, and it really consists of three components. It's a direct interface to your nervous system, so think of a miniature kind of sensor that could sit in or on your brain.
Okay.
Some algorithms, artificial intelligence that can interpret those signals in real time, moment to moment, and then connecting those signals to any number of things. It could be a computer, or it could be something like I'm wearing here today. This is what's called the Battelle Neuro Life Sleeve.
Okay. So it sounds like the kind of technologies you're talking about are particularly relevant in a healthcare scenario to someone who's had an accident, perhaps a stroke, I'm not sure. Like what are sort of the primary use cases?
Yeah, so when we first got into working in this area, we were working with people that have spinal cord injury. And people that have had those injuries, it's devastating for them. Their brain becomes disconnected from their body.
Yeah.
So again, back to this concept of how do we reconnect the brain, we said how can we reanimate that person's own limb? And you can imagine for a person living with that, like they don't want necessarily like some other kind of assistive device. They want their own hand to work in the way that it did before their injury. So we set out on a mission to develop this end-to-end technology, and the really talented engineers at Battelle came up with the whole thing, the neural interface, the algorithms, as well as this sleeve. And what we showed here today at CES is our ability to actually put that sleeve on a person with spinal cord injury, reanimate their hand to do everything from open and close, or stir your coffee, or even do something fun like playing video games with that direct neural interface. So it was super cool.
So that's amazing. Obviously, the range from life massively enhancing to perhaps even just kind of fun. Say a little bit more about some of the applications that might be, I don't know, more about learning or playing, or what are some of the lighter applications of the technology?
So we think this technology can be used in all kinds of places. So first off, the sleeve, there are 160 sensors on it, and they can both stimulate and record muscle and nerve activity. And you can imagine the level of dexterity that one might be able to have when you have that kind of a resolution on there. So the application that we showed here at CES today is something that we call muscle memories. And it's really cool because we showed this kind of golf demo. Many of us aspire to be pro golfers, but it's really, really hard.
Sure.
And the kind of the motions of your hand as you're doing a golf swing can make all the difference in whether you slice or hook the ball or really get it to the place where you want to go. So with this technology, we could put the sleeve on a golf pro. Record their neural activity from their hand positions, store that in a database. And then once you have those patterns, you could take an amateur and with the same sleeve write in the pro's muscle activity so that amateur can have a more...
So would you actually stimulate the muscle to move in the ways that the pro does?
Yes, so you stimulate that amateur's muscle so that their hand movements act like the pros. And what we did on stage, we had a live demo of this. I got on the stage and I did a full putt with the sleeve system. We also showed how you do real-time kinds of corrections of a swing that a golf pro might try to teach you. And here's the crux of it. So I'm wearing this on my right hand. I'm actually left-handed. And I did a right-handed putt, and I'm not able to do that without the technology on. So again, really shows how it can make a huge difference.
So one more question. So in the case in which somebody does have a connection, and I don't know in the case of somebody who may have an injury, but I guess the idea is that you're not only taking on the ability to do something that you couldn't before, but learning it through muscle memory, so that after you've done it enough times, you get it. And is that the case as well for some of the spinal cord patients that you were talking about?
Yeah, so one interesting thing about the body and the brain, it's the ultimate adaptable system. So you can imagine if you're getting rehabilitation after your injury, initially it might be really hard, and maybe you're using a sleeve to kind of do small movements, but as you get better and better over time, we can tailor these interventions for that particular individual. And again, it's, the body is a very personal thing, and if you have technologies that can be tailored to everybody's condition, we really think that we can make a huge difference for that person.
Well, thank you so much, Justin. This is fascinating.
Yeah,
Thanks
you so
for
much.
joining us here.
Great.
Again, this is Ligeia Ricciardi with the Digital Health Live studio at CES 2020.